Hello, I'm Joanne Myers, Director of Public Affairs Programs. As many of you know, the Carnegie Council has been a forum for the discussion of ethical issues in international decision-making. But to continue to bring these wonderful programs to you, we need your help. Please visit carnegiecouncil.org, click on Donate/Join. Thank you for doing so.
So then if we look at risks.
Right. And that's where it gets more interesting. Because I think the benefits, we could sort of spell out the benefits from the theory. The risks only became much clearer when you actually tried to take the theory and put it into practice. If I highlight two risks, and both are inherent in the model of reaching this crowd that are essentially volunteers. Number one is simplification. To sort of state the obvious, if you're going to reach a non-expert audience, you have to simplify. There's just no way around it. If you had asked everybody to read even one book on Sudan before they attended a rally, you couldn't turn out tens of thousands of people on the National Mall. So you have to simplify. That is the realm of operation that you're in. And one of the things that, if you talk to cognitive psychologists, that they will say is if you're trying to get people to intake new information, it's useful to hang it on a pre-existing schema. And that was certainly something that we saw happening on Darfur. By the schema of reference was Rwanda, which 10 years after the Rwandan genocide was something that actually a pretty significant amount of the US public knew something about, and they may not have known a whole lot, but enough to feel a sort of guilt associated with it. And by talking about Darfur as a Rwanda in slow motion, it became a framework through which people could understand a place that they, in fact, knew nothing about, had no background in. The sort of an interesting media story, I think, also in that, about how it came to be that Rwanda was the framework through which people started to understand Darfur, because it didn't have to be that way. There was a Darfur story you could have told that was actually about the north and south of Sudan and the peace agreement and that coming together at the same time as you had a rebellion in Darfur. The media never picked up on that story. And the people at the elite level who were trying to get the message about Darfur out found that it was just much more successful as a news hook to get it in through the 10th anniversary of the Rwandan genocide. So you actually had atrocities happening in Darfur throughout 2003, completely missed by everybody. What put it into the limelight was this news hook that came up around the 10th anniversary of Rwanda. So simplification, necessary evil in terms of building a movement. When you really get into problems is when that simplification, that narrative, also becomes your basis for proposing solutions. And this was a huge, huge problem for the Darfur movement. Not only did they get into Darfur through Rwanda, but their initial set of policy solutions was very much, let us right the wrongs of Rwanda. Let's do everything that people said we should have done during Rwanda. And there was a big failure to update, both in the sense that Darfur was not Rwanda, but also the lessons learned from Rwanda had been written at a very particular point in world history. They had been written after the end of the Cold War, before the invasion of Iraq, sort of peak of US hard and soft power, and a huge amount of faith in what America could do if it sort of led the world on these issues. And these lessons just did not fit when you cut and pasted them over to Darfur in a scenario post-invasion of Iraq.